Hello all YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude, hoping you to understand your weather even better. Thank you all for tuning back into my YouTube channel, and welcome to this special video for one of the sad days in American history, September 11, 2019. As always, please consider subscribing as well as liking and sharing the video, and never missing one of my videos again. Ring the bell notifications please, and look in the description for other videos of mine with severe weather content that you will not find anywhere else. Just wanted to take the time real quick just to show you a little nice sunset pic that I did get about an hour or two ago, if that at all. Now that is gone. The sun has obviously gone down now, but that's just a little sunset pic. If you guys want to use that for your background image for some reason, I don't know, on one of your devices, it just captured a great sunset pic, and I really wanted to show it to you guys. And of course, to show you some of my future videos. So we got Volcanic Lightning Explained video, Ocean and Beach Forecast number 5, my third winter 2020 forecast, because this is going to be my second winter 2020 forecast that is coming by demand today. Sea level rise videos by city, Atlantic Hurricane discussion number 12, my 2019 fall forecast number 1, I can't believe I haven't done that yet, and the 2025 Atlantic Hurricane season and animation hypothetical, which is probably going to be last on my list. Alrighty, so with that being said, let's get started right into a video. I'm going to take my face off real quick so I can show you my forecast and show you a little bit of PowerPoint and, a few maps as well. So let's get into my winter 2020 forecast number 2. Alrighty, so we are in my winter 2020 forecast number 2. As always, you can always take time to read that little description there that I put in pretty much all my forecasts, just as a little statement there. Alright, so this is my temperature outlook for 2019-2020 winter forecast number 2. I am the Weather Dude, and if I haven't said that earlier, and you can see it looks kind of similar to my last one, except that, again, we got that the check mark formation. The cold has been moved a little bit farther to the east and to the south a little bit because we have a developing ENSO neutral pattern, a negative North Atlantic oscillation. I'll explain all that towards the latter half of the video. Basically, you can have this polar jet stream bringing some cold air. You can have this subtropical jet stream. Whoops, that's kind of a bad one. You can have this subtropical jet stream getting some moist air. So at the closest approach that they come to each other, you're going to have some low pressure systems developing and bringing some cold and snow. So the subtropical jet brings in, like that cool, or actually warm in some cases, warm and wet air, and the cold and dry air is provided by the polar jet stream coming down from the north. So the area of greatest, like much below normal, as of right now, looks to be Midwest and the Great Lakes region, as well as up the Green Mountains and the White Mountains up in the northeast, and parts of the northern Appalachian Mountains. That's where the worst of the cold seems to be now. But we got some slightly below normal temperatures extending all the way down to the southeast. Basically the northern essential plains, even. Which I think that I think in my third update, I think this will become all dark blue and medium blue. But just as a precautionary base of what we're thinking right now. But I do think you will see in my overall forecast there'll be some big Arctic blasts coming through this region. So this I'd probably put in a medium or dark blue. But one thing I am really sure about, not saying I'm not sure about the cold, but I am definitely sure, and a lot of guidance is pointed towards this, the fact that we're going to have some warmer times there in the west, specifically California and southern Oregon and extreme western Arizona. But even, in the west, you got Utah, you got Arizona, Idaho, Washington, Oregon, Nevada. Nonetheless, you guys are going to see some warmer than average temperatures. Alrighty, let's move on to precipitation now. Alright, so here's a precipitation outlook. Yes, this looks kind of messy, but it's very simple. Again, where it was warm in the west, it's going to be dry as well, just because of that, jet stream. And you might notice it almost looks like a vacuum cleaner, like it's like sucked up in the one narrow chute here. It's like all triangular, looks weird, and it's 2 reasons. I created this precipitation outlook based on what I think the storm check could be. You see how like the green goes up to here? Let's focus on the southern part first. That's going to be from the subtropical jet stream. Then you got your Alberta clippers coming from this direction, bringing in, or any kind of clipper actually, bringing in some wet times and snowy times. But you also got the subtropical jet coming out from the Pacific, and that's going to have to fuel some wet air. So the subtropical jet is going to feed into all this wetness, and the polar jet and the coastal storms will feed in all the moisture on the northern end. So that's why it's kind of shaped into like a triangle fashion. So one set of moisture is from the north, one set of moisture is from the south. And I purposely shaped it like that. And you can see we can have some low pressures at the closest approach between the polar jet and the subtropical jet, and especially wet times here for the mid-Atlantic and northeast. And we combine the cold and the wet, you obviously do get some potential snowfall. Even some wetter times and some cooler times, as you'll see in my later forecast down there in Florida. Alright, so this is my snowfall forecast, and just saying, less snow, more snow. And this has changed from my last one. I used to have just tan on one side, light blue on the other, just where it was going to be. And I did add a little, another color to this. So, again, the west, I did narrow it down. If you were to look at my first winter outlook, and please try to get anybody you can just to watch this outlook, because it's more updated. I used to have probably the below average snow like all the way out here. But now I've kind of shrunken that down a little bit and kind of moved the stuff a little bit further west. But all the cold and the snow has expanded farther to the west and farther to the east in this forecast. But still nothing, not the four corners anymore. It's west of there. We're talking about Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Utah, and Arizona. And even parts of Idaho, if I haven't said those places already. And you could just see some slightly less snow. Could you still see hundreds and hundreds of inches of snow in the mountains? Potentially, yes. If not, I wouldn't even say dozens. I'd say almost like hundreds of inches of snow. Just going to be a little bit less than you normally see. It could still change. And just so you know, for Florida, in a place like Miami, above normal snow, that doesn't mean you're going to get snow, but maybe we'll have higher probabilities for snow is what we're trying to say. Maybe we can have 1/10 of an inch. Who knows? We can get some cold air. When you see above average snowfall for this, like places like Florida and New Orleans and Houston, it can also mean like higher probabilities or greater or more chances for snow. But again, the Appalachian Mountains there, northern mid-Atlantic, interior northeast of New England, and even on the coast, depending on the coastal storms, but that's where you can see moderately or way more than average snowfall. Alright, last but not least, we're going to look at my overall forecast to see overall what can your location expect. And then we're just going to look at some, little PowerPoint presentation and also some maps on what the North Atlantic Oscillation is and ENSO and all that stuff. So we'll cover all that after this. And here's my overall 2019-2020 winter forecast number 2. And it looks, kind of different than the first one. The colors, don't really coordinate with what they mean. Like red is cold shots. It's because I happened to use the wrong colors in the beginning and I didn't want to erase it. So, and again, as always, white. I don't have to put that down anymore. White is average, equal chances of pretty much normal weather. And again, I did keep the white areas pretty much the same actually. Parts of the four corners here. New Mexico, pretty much some average weather. So we're going to start from those top to bottom, starting with cool and wet. And that's going to be for the southern Tennessee Valley, places like Dallas and Shreveport, Birmingham, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia, Charleston, South Carolina. All places you can see cooler and wetter times here. Higher mountain snowfall and probably some of the worst winter conditions are possible, basically from the Green and White Mountains in Vermont, all the way down the Appalachian Mountains through about, the Smoky Mountains in western North Carolina and eastern Tennessee. Whoops, not meaning to do that. And all the way down to northern Georgia. That's going to be, I wouldn't even say northern Georgia. I'd probably stop at, right at the Carolinas here in the mountains. I wouldn't even include this part, but just because northern Georgia has some mountainous areas, you can see some, higher mountain snowfall there. And mountain snow starting early, and we're actually going to see more than 6 to 10 inches possibly in some of the higher elevations in the mountains in Wyoming right now. And so we're already seeing some mountain snow starting early. And that'd be something nice to put in my fall outlook. Some coastal storms possible, some nor'easters, as you can see. Draw attention to this little low pressure system. Hugs the coast, we probably get more in the way of rain and some inland snowfall and some coastal rain. If it were to track away from the coast, we probably just see some snow at the coastline because the impacts won't reach far inland enough if we were to check off the coast. But if it went right down the middle, as shown here, you get some nice snow, probably rain right at the coast, some rain and snow mix, depending on the track and the scenarios and the cold air in place and all that. But if it were to go dead center, in this case, you probably see some like mix at the coast and some snow just inland, maybe even some mountain snow as well. So coastal storms are possible in northern Maine, down East Maine, all the way through northern or North Carolina, and even South Carolina. I mean, I could extend this purple area all the way down to Florida. Okay, that would not necessarily mean that we'd see snow from the coastal storm, but it's still a coastal storm nonetheless. All right, warm and dry again, just like in my temperature and precipitation outlooks. That's going to be your warm and dry area: Nevada, California, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Utah, and parts of Arizona. Winter battle zone, icy. I made that kind of like a yellowish, orangish color, and that's basically I think it could even be farther south and west than this, but this is like places like Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, Kentucky, southern Indiana, southern Illinois, and central Missouri, like St. Louis, probably between St. Louis and Nashville, between St. Louis and OKC, like right around those areas, like between here and here, and between here and here. But, I mean, you could probably extend it from Kansas City all the way over to Louisville, Kentucky, if you're going to go east to west, or west to east. So that's your coverage area of winter battle zone and probably some icy conditions. I wouldn't even be surprised if that even moved farther south. Alright, multiple Arctic blast. Again, the red area, I didn't want to put it on top of the orange color, so the red area really extends down to here. So all this orange area is also included in the red area, which means multiple Arctic blasts could get all the way down south. And you're going to see lots of, negative 10, negative 20, probably even negative 40 for the feels like or actual temperatures because of that, jet stream digging all the way down to the south. And we've got near average temperatures in wet right along the Gulf Coast, Gulf Mexico, on the coast of Gulf Mexico, western Florida coast. Basically, if you were to go from Brownsville and Corpus Christi all the way up the northern Gulf Coast like this, in a motion like this, then you come all the way back down to Florida's west coast, that's basically your area where probably still some cooler, but a little bit warmer temperatures, so some near average temperatures and still wet as well. And finally, near average lake effect snowfall. It all depends. If we have a cold fall in this region, this is the region I'm focusing on now, where the lake effect snow is. If that region has some colder times in the fall, or even late summer into the fall, the water temperatures in the Great Lakes are going to get colder. So if you got cold air moving over cold water, you're not going to get any lake effect snow belts. However, if we have a warm late summer and a warm fall, then for the early part of the winter, we could have some greater lake effect snow totals because we have the warmer waters combining with the cold air moving over it. It's just going to be, snow belt after snow belt. And even down the mid-Atlantic coast, I mean, I've felt some snow bands before too. Driving to an orthodontist appointment once, it just all heck broke loose, and yeah, it was just some hectic time. So snow bands can cover out anywhere, but it all depends on how warm or cold it will be for the fall pattern. As a matter of fact, if I could be able to find on Tropical Tidbits, I could probably find the ocean temperature anomalies and be able to tell you, hopefully. Let's see. North Atlantic. Okay, no, so this whole area is filled in gray for some reason. They never used to do that, so I guess I can't really tell you the ocean anomaly there. Let me go ahead and try one more thing, and I'll see if it works. Yeah, so I tried another ocean, ocean temperature anomaly website, and that didn't work either. So it's like they fill in the Great Lakes region with just dull gray. They used to do that, but I guess they don't do anymore. So we're gonna look at some, ENSO predictions, and like that, where is it? It's gonna be neutral. What is the North Atlantic oscillation? All that stuff. So I hope you enjoy my forecast for 2020 winter number 2. I hope to do a couple more before winter gets here, and hopefully to do some fall outlooks as well. I want to jump to this graph real quick and update on the 8th of August. And you can see we're in a neutral pattern now. Probably chances for that falling at its lowest around December and January and February, and probably through the spring as well. We'll sit right around 50 to 55% chance of having neutral conditions. I got news for you. They had said 50-60% chance of El Nino, and all of a sudden we got flipped to a neutral, which I had kind of said it was, going to happen at some point. I didn't say it was going to happen this early. But You can see the La Nina chances will grow and peak out in November and December, but I don't think there's going to be a La Nina at all. If anything, El Nino will come back. If anything, that's like the second most likely outcome. But the most likely outcome is that we'll stay in neutral, according to this graph. And as of where we are right now, I mean, it's pretty much updates every day. And you can see we're below 0 here. All you need is basically between 0.5 and negative 0.5, and you're in a neutral. And we're probably going to stay that way, hovering around 0, probably through the winter and potentially into the spring. But again, look at this. Look at the CFS, okay? CFS ensembles. There is such a wide range. It doesn't look like much, and it looks like they're in agreement a decent amount, at least in this region here. But I mean, you got some models that are trending towards a La Nina down here, and some that are trending back towards an El Nino near 1 degree, plus 1 degree, and maybe some getting down as low as negative 0.6 degrees. So at least for the anomalies. So I mean, after this, I mean, as you go further in time, as you can see what I just drew, the cone is going to widen up a little bit. But assuming that that cone is right, you could probably just take it right down the middle of the cone, and that's probably the most likely outcome. And that could be hovering near 0, so pretty much around that neutral phase. So let me show you. Actually, first, this is from today, the North Atlantic oscillation. Basically, the lower down this is, the colder air you can see for the eastern United States. And I'll get into what that means in just a bit. And you can see we're seeing a little spike right now in North Atlantic oscillation. It could drop towards, end of September, we'll see. But this is what a negative North Atlantic oscillation looks like. Alright, and we got this high pressure part over Greenland. So Greenland could be seeing some really warm times and some drier times. But no matter what, if you look at a place like the Arctic, right, look at this as negative, this is positive. No matter what, it's cold air aloft. Now, whether we're drier or more wet, that could depend. But I think Arctic would do pretty good with the negative North Atlantic oscillation, but Greenland not so much. So you can see we just got this Arctic air just driving down in the United States. This jet stream just, it gets weaker. And technically when a jet stream is stronger, it's going to tend to be more straight. You see more, average temperatures or maybe some slightly warmer temperatures. But if that jet stream is weaker, it can go in waves. So we can see like a jet stream go like this, take a plummet, and we can see some colder times. And if the jet stream is more wavy, after that cold, that drop to the south, it can go back up and come down, so we can see even warmer times. So when the jet stream is weaker, it tends to, wiggle around, get some wiggle room more. And also, with a negative North Atlantic oscillation, places in Europe are a lot colder as well. They get almost that same Arctic blast, and thank goodness, because, I mean, they just got blasted by 2-3 heat waves this summer. At least 3 major heat waves, and all those heat waves brought temperatures over 100 degrees, and probably well over 36 degrees Celsius. And I want you to keep it on that high pressure there. Again, some drier times, some stable conditions for the west. But look at the positive phase. Look at this high part over the tropics. Is that what we had last winter that made the air so stable over the tropics? Maybe. If we are, not really likely, but if we were to have a positive phase, positive North Atlantic oscillation, and it were to stay that way through the spring and summer, as you can see, there's stable air parked over the tropics, higher pressure. And Greenland and Arctic are just going to get blasted by cold and snow, and that's what they really want up there. And much of the United States is calm, with the northern fifth of the U.S. getting the most action in terms of snowfall and stuff. But as we look at this map, issued September 3rd, this will update in about 6 days. And you can see we're in an inactive phase, so not El Nino, not La Nina at this point, probably neutral phase. So again, I'll give you one last little peek at the overall outlook. Thank you for watching my 2020 winter forecast number 2. Please share this with your friends. I will feature this on my channel as well if any of you guys want to find this again more conveniently. Thank you guys for watching very much. I'm the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, thank you for watching.